Alrighty, guys, I'm back. We're gonna hop right into it. I'm so excited. I actually saw this one a while back, and I wanted to watch it, but I put it off for stream.
At first, I wasn't wanting to. We attacked her. I didn't really want.
Bro, why did Justin Bieber kill Grams? Listen, look what happened to Justin Bieber, chat. He fell off.
To do it as much. I didn't want to do it. Her whole top head was like gone.
Her whole what was gone?
Up here, it's all gone.
The whole top of her head?
What the fuck? Did he scalp her?
It was that first swing. I think the head. But I didn't feel good. We were freaking out.
This is 13-year-old Antonio Barbeau and his friend, 13-year-old Nathan Pop.
Bro, so I'm saying, dude, these kids are crazy. 13-year-olds, bro, murdering their own gam.
The pair are enjoying a good meal and some conversation at a local pizzeria. This footage seems innocent enough. However...
Bro, don't tell me they used the money they killed their grandma with to buy that pizza. They literally used... He's about to say they used that money they killed the grandma with to buy this pizza afterwards. No way.
It's revealed exactly how they ended up there. Your entire perception of this video will change. On Tuesday, September 18th, 2012, 78-year-old Barbara Olson didn't show up at her daughter.
Imagine being 78. You've made it almost 80 years in life, and your own grandson fucking murks you.
Judy Offutt's house, as she normally did mostly every morning. When Barbara failed to appear again on Wednesday morning, Judy became concerned for her elderly mother. Judy placed several phone calls to Barbara in the following hours, but they all went unanswered. By the afternoon, she'd still received no word from her mom. Barbara lived just a few miles away from her daughter in the town of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. So
Bro, why do all these murders happen up north in the Middle East? What is wrong with you fuckers up there? It's just so boring in those states. There's like nothing to do, so you guys start killing each other?
Judy made her way to her mom's house later that very same afternoon. She lifted the garage door so that she could attempt to go into the home through the garage entrance.
Be careful.
Her mother's car was missing from inside, but what she did find made her run to a neighbor to call the police.
Please send an ambulance and the police. My mother is laying in the garage and there's a lot of blood. And there's a blanket over her head.
Just Midwest things. Imagine going home to your mom and she's just been murdered.
How did the blanket get over her? I have no idea. And how old is your mother? She is 78.
Jesus.
And is she breathing? I don't know. I can't look. The blanket is over her head and I can't look. Okay.
Oh my god, dude. I don't know if I could go lift up the blanket either if I saw my mom and I think she's dead. Like, that would be so horrifying. What if her, like, the ambulance get there and her grandma's like, bro, come on in, daughter. It's just an April Fool's prank. I'll just pranking you, pretend to be dead on the floor.
Oh god, the neighbor. Okay, can the neighbor check if she's breathing? Oh, you don't have to go and look. You don't have to go. If your neighbor can just go and check if she's breathing. Okay, they would like you to.
Damn.
Are you sending somebody?
I'm working on it. I need to know if she's breathing.
Bro, why is the 911 operator being so sassy and rude?
Barbara was lying motionless inside her garage, a blanket covering her face with no shoes on her feet. Her
They took her shoes?
appeared badly beaten. A trail of blood stretched from her body back into the house through the doorway
that
connected
fuck?
the garage to the
real fuck that operator? Yeah, like she's panicking, bro.
interior of the home. Had
Rude
the
as hell.
blanket been removed from Barbara's head, the sight would have been enough to scar Judy for the rest of her life.
Bro, I couldn't imagine seeing my mom like that.
Bag that had been placed over Barbara's head and secured around her neck with a black belt.
Jesus.
Had the bag been removed, Judy would have seen that her mother's head was so severely crushed that parts of her face were either missing or indistinguishable. The top portion of her head was all but gone.
Holy fuck! Anyone panic that situation? Imagine that shit. Holy hell. Chat.
The hunt for Barbara's killer began. Barbara Olson was a volunteer driver for elderly citizens in Sheboygan Falls, an avid gardener and described by her family as generally peaceful and positive. She simply wasn't the kind of person who would have had any enemies, which left detectives
People can just do that? Dude, just wait till we get to the interrogation, bro. This will blow your mind. I've not watched this video, but I've heard about this case. Good night, Spooky.
Any real leads. However, conversations with Barbara's family, as well as a few odd pieces of surveillance footage secured from multiple establishments around the area.
Yo, can someone message Ben on Cloud? Can you message Ben on Discord and tell him I'm watching True Crime? Last time he came in towards the end, he said he's sad he missed it.
Landed detectives in front of two 13-year-olds. Barbara's great-grandson, Antonio Barbeau.
Bro, he's literally just... You know who he looks like, bro? He looks like Dapper. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dapper, but Antonio looks just like Dapper. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rat. He looks just like your brother. Yes.
Nicknamed Tino, and his friend Nathan, or Nate.
Nathan Papa? Cool name.
Pop. Investigators were hoping that these two middle schoolers could help them get to the bottom of who mercilessly executed Barbara Olson and why. The following interrogation footage has never been seen before.
What if he just starts saying, he's just like, I will never say never. Loki. Baby,
The first thing detectives do is remove
oh.
Antonio's handcuffs, likely in order to make him more comfortable and build rapport with him before the interrogation begins.
Damn, they already got him
Prior to
cuffed
entering
up.
the room, detectives have intentionally pulled Antonio's chair away from the table. This way, they have a clear view of his whole body, which will allow them to more effectively read his body language.
That's crazy, bro. Like this is a 13-year-old kid.
You can read fine, correct? All right, first of all, can I get your name? It's Antonio Barbeau, is that how you pronounce it? Antonio Barbeau. Okay. And how old are you?
13.
All right, so what grade are you in school?
I'm in 8th.
Bro, he's not even in high school yet.
Okay. And you can understand everything that I'm saying so far, correct? All right, do you know what day it is of the week?
I think Thursday.
Okay.
What?
Detectives are asking some basic
Like this normal ass looking kid. He even looks like almost like sweet, like a sweet little kid.
questions to get him talking and establish a behavioral baseline.
We've been involved in a serious investigation, okay? There's a lot of different people that have been talked to already about this serious investigation.
What do you mean?
And you're one of them that we wanted to talk to, hoping that you can clarify some things, okay?
All right.
Because you're sitting in here, I do have to read you your rights, okay?
All right.
Antonio appears relatively calm and unemotional for someone.
Yeah, bro. I was about to say, bro. At 13, he seems pretty chill to be in there. Isn't that wild? Like, look how relaxed he is.
His age finding themselves in this position. This is likely not his first run-in with law enforcement.
Do you understand each of these rights? Okay. Realizing that you have these rights, are you now willing to answer questions or make a statement, basically listen to me and answer the questions so that we can hopefully clarify some things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Antonio might understand the literal meaning of his Miranda rights,
These
but
kids,
he's likely
I can't imagine that the things these kids seem to be disassociated from reality. I mean, like, I don't make an excuse for him, but like, yeah, that's one of the things I love about true crime. Like, it fascinates me, like, what people have to go through in the life they go through that pushes them to do some of these things. I mean, some of them are actually crazy and live a relatively normal life, but some people go through the ringer, bro, and like you can just like see how it progresses and how it happens. And it's not an excuse, but it's just like interesting to learn about and watch.
too young to understand the repercussions of speaking without an attorney being present. If a minor understands their Miranda rights, they have the ability to waive them. However, a court will review the situation more carefully than a waiver by an adult before admitting an incriminating response into evidence.
That's
The
so
prosecution
fucking
must know that the minor understood the situation and their rights, and the waiver was voluntary, knowing, and intelligent. The court will
Fuck
take
his
into
rights.
account the age and intelligence of the minor and any coercive or deceptive tactics
Dude, for a 13-year-old, this guy, he seems pretty smart. I'm not gonna lie.
by law enforcement, as well as the emotional state of the minor at the time. If a parent or guardian was not in the room, a minor may not have understood their rights or may have felt more pressure to cooperate with law enforcement.
There was a serious incident involving your great-grandmother, I believe. Do you know who that would be?
On
her name
my
is?
side. My side.
Yeah, I think it is.
Then Grandma Barb.
Okay, what's her...
Bro, he just says Grandma Barb uses brain cell for evil. Uses brain power for evil. Like he didn't just murder her. There's been an incident involving your grandma. Which one? The one you killed.
Is it grandma or great grandma?
I just say grandma.
But is she your grandma or is she a great
She's
grandma?
my great grandma.
Okay. Do you know anything at all about what may have happened to her? Have you heard anything? Do you know anything at all?
No, what happened?
Okay. Well, like I said, it's a serious incident. She's not doing that well, and I'll get more to it later as far as the other people that we've talked to, what came up. So, okay.
This is a strategically placed statement by the detectives.
He's already gonna try to turn his friend on him. He's probably trying to like make him think his friend already ratted on him or something.
Lets Antonio in on the fact that detectives have spoken with other people before speaking to him. This leaves him to wonder what they already know. The detectives will likely reveal what information they've gathered piece
Let's see
by
how
piece
long
as
it
the
takes him to break
interrogation
this kid down.
progresses, in
See if he's
order
a good
to see if
detective.
Antonio's story changes.
Alright.
So you don't know anything about, when's the last time you saw your great grandma?
It usually indicates that someone is...
What the hell? Look at this evil ass face. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Oh, and by the way, chat, I watched one of these, I think yesterday or today. And this guy, the narrator, was actually shitting on the investigators, like talking about how shit they were, and like how the investigators weren't doing their job right, and how like it was actually funny, like because he's usually complimenting them, like calling out their techniques, but he was straight but shitting on this one detective.
Experiencing a negative emotion when their lips seem to disappear, such as Antonio's are here. Disappearing lips doesn't mean someone is being deceptive. It just suggests that they're likely feeling anxious or upset. Telling a lie can be anxiety-provoking for many people, as they don't know whether they will be believed or not. Since we already know that Antonio is lying about when he last saw his great-grandmother, we can presume that his disappearing lips are due to stress from being deceptive.
I don't know, I've been in trouble the past...
What's up, Ben?
Like, month or two. I'm thinking at least a month ago.
So the last time you saw her was at least a month ago?
Yeah.
The lovely Ben, you're
And
guilty.
Do you remember where that was that you saw her?
You're guilty.
No.
In response to this question, Antonio's hand flies up to his face.
Yeah, that is odd.
Face is known as facial distortion. It's an adapter behavior.
That was odd.
To release nervous energy and self-soothe. Given that Antonio is covering one of his eyes, it could also be a form of eye blocking, which is a behavior that people may do when they are presented with something they perceive as negative. It's a way to put distance between themselves and whatever they're hearing or seeing. When an interrogation first begins, detectives will start with basic questions so they can get a feel for how the suspect responds to low-pressure questions. They will then compare that behavior to how the suspect acts with higher-pressure questions, like about the crime that has occurred. Antonio's baseline behavior involved very little movements, and he appeared relatively relaxed. However, as soon as questions about his great-grandma started, he began showing signs of stress.
Probably because he fucking killed her.
Will likely interpret this as a deviation from his baseline behavior, and therefore an indication of possible deception.
When's the last time you were at her house, Grandma or Great-Grandma Barb Olson's?
Probably last time I went over there to work for her, which would probably be about 2 months ago.
Bro, he's touching his face so much every time he lies.
There, I put some leaves.
Here, when asked again about his last interaction with his great-grandmother...
He really does do that. Every time he lies, he's touching his face. Every skater friend I had in high school, he killed his grandma for $100.
See more touching of the face and neck, and very subtle movement of the leg. These are physical signs of increased anxiety and potential red flags of deception. These movements indicate the person is likely feeling stressed, which could be because they're lying.
Like she had all these leaves in the garage, like a lot.
Rather than the short answers he's given so far, Antonio delves into a detailed explanation about the yard work he'd previously done for his great-grandma, likely because it's a true story. These kinds of behavioral deviations are exactly what detectives are looking for.
Yeah, chat. The more chatty you are with detectives and cops, like when you just like tell them a bunch of random stuff and like get into like random bullshit, they're gonna start suspecting of stuff. Like just be sweet, matter of fact, and to the point. Detailed too.
And how long ago was that? Did you say?
I'm gonna guess about 2 months.
Every time he lies, he touches his head or face.
Grandma's house.
Yeah.
So do you know where that is? Do you know the address by any chance or not? Or
No, I don't know the address.
Do you know what street it's on or anything?
Well, the only thing I know is it's in Sheboygan Falls, and then, like, I know the area that it's in, but I don't know the address to it.
Okay. And you were talking about getting in trouble and stuff. What are you here for?
I'm here for...
Antonio seems to give this particular question quite a bit.
It's so crazy. Like, when I was 13, bro, I was, like, building stuff in the woods, making traps, like, chasing animals, like, imagining dragons flying through the sky, like, playing airsoft guns. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Of consideration before answering. He even repeats the question first, which is a common tactic used to stall for time.
He knows this is shit.
Well, I'm here because I ran from social care when I had to go to social care. Because I remember I was like, my mom told me, like, if I was like really good and all that, I'd get out sooner, all that type of stuff. And then I was there for like a week and a half, and like half a week before that, I was talking to my social worker. She said only a few days. So then after that other half a week, I asked my mom, do you know when I'm getting out, like in a few days or something? And she's like, your social worker said that it's me at least another 2 weeks. So I didn't like that, so I left.
Okay.
Damn, what a rebel, what a legend. I didn't like that, so I left.
The fact that Antonio ran from social care in the first place, essentially because he didn't like being there, gives detectives a good idea of the kind of kid he really is.
A piece of shit.
Defiant and insubordinate, with a complete disregard for authority.
Bro, but I be doing that too. I'm defiant, insubordinate, with a complete disregard for authority. You know what I'm saying? But I don't kill people. Or do I?
Do you know what you were doing Monday? Where you were at, where you were staying? Were you at home, or where were you at on Monday during the day?
So quirky.
I'm quite sure.
Bro, your name is Rat Goat Cheese.
Sleeping till like at least 2, and then I started walking around.
Now he's scratching his leg.
Where did you? So Sunday night you slept?
Antonio begins furiously scratching his leg.
Why does the narrator keep calling him out? He's like, now Antonio's furiously scratching a weird rash on his leg. And then next, be like, Antonio's now fucking shoving his finger into his nose to pick boogers. Like, bro, calling his ass out.
A new stress adapter. Skin scratching is closely associated with stress. When a person is feeling pressured, the body sends signals to immune cells to release chemicals like histamine, which can trigger inflammation and cause itching. Most adults are aware that a lot of fidgeting can make themselves appear anxious and, as such, might try to stifle those behaviors in order to appear more innocent. A young teen, on the other hand, may lack insight into their own behavior.
Damn.
And may not realize that detectives are analyzing their
he's
every
fucking
move.
throwing.
Aware of his discomfort, detectives press forward with questioning about what exactly he did over the weekend.
Where were you sleeping at Sunday night?
I was, let's see, I remember I wasn't home.
It's peculiar that Antonio's having a hard time recalling this information, considering that Sunday would have only been 4 days prior.
Whoa. Listen, I can barely remember yesterday. So, I don't remember 4 days ago. Holy fuck, chat. What were you doing 4 days ago? What's today? Saturday? Friday? Thursday? Tuesday? Wednesday? I don't fucking know. What was I doing 4 days ago, Cloud? Probably fucking streaming. Arby!
Rather than trying to remember, it's more likely that he's trying to think of a suitable answer
Crying
to
myself
give
to
detectives.
sleep. That's every night, so it's easy for you to say that.
Quite sure I stayed at a friend's house that night.
I'm quite sure.
Red flags go up as Antonio resorts back to giving undescriptive and vague answers, an indicator that he might be nervous about this particular line of questioning.
I wonder why.
Withholding information. Note also the pitch of his voice as he answers.
Quite sure I stayed at a friend's house that night.
This is called upward or rising inflection.
Dude, listen, chat. I know this, that people's voices get higher when they lie. So when I lie, I make my voice as deep as possible. So if you ever hear me lying, I'll be like, listen here, shawty. You're the only one for me. Like, it's going to be hella deep. It's going to be like, listen, babe. You're the only girl for me. That way, like, there's no way she'll think I'm lying. I'm back, sorry. He's so bad at lying, bruh. That's what I'm saying. It's like, the more honest you are, the deeper your voice is.
When someone's statement ends on a higher pitch than it started. This often happens when someone is asking a question,
I'm sorry,
or if they aren't sure about what they're saying. It's a red flag that Antonio's inflection rises when he's making this statement, because
Antonio's
most
a
people would be
walking red
able to
flag,
confidently
Chad.
answer whether or not they stayed at a friend's house a few nights ago.
I couldn't, though.
As he finishes this
I'd be
statement,
fucked
he
if I
looks
was
directly
getting...
at the detective, possibly to see if the detective seems to believe what he said.
Well, today's Thursday. It wasn't that
they
long
would think
ago,
I
right?
was so
do you know which
sus.
friend it was that you stayed at Sunday night?
I'm gonna say probably Nathan.
And what's his last name?
Pop.
We have to pause
Pap?
here. What Antonio doesn't know is that detectives have already spoken to his friend Nathan at length about
Oh,
what happened
dude, Nathan looks like such a pussy. He definitely folded and told them everything.
on Monday afternoon. In fact, detectives had paid Nathan a visit at his home only the day before to discuss the ongoing investigation. It turns out that Nathan told a completely different version of what happened on the night of Monday, September 17th. Now, detectives are left to determine which of the two is lying. The following interrogation takes place on Wednesday, September 19th, just hours after Barbara was found.
All right, Nate.
Wait, so why did they interrogate a random friend of the grandson just hours after... What?
We're here to talk with you, and we want to talk to you because we understand that you are friends or somehow associated with a person by the name of Antonio Barbo.
Yeah.
Tino. I understand he goes by the name Tino.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're friends with Tino?
Yeah.
To make the
Okay.
storylines up? Maybe.
Okay. When's the last time you think you saw Tino?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? And where was that at?
Just down on the corner of this block.
Did you expect to see him when you were leaving your house?
No.
Did you know that Tino was a runaway?
Yeah.
Do you know how long he had been a runaway for?
Yeah. Since last week, Friday.
And did he run away from home or?
Damn, they were good friends, bro. He knows a lot about him.
Does he live at his house?
No, he was in shelter care.
In shelter care?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Dang, that's
he had to
sad.
stay for another 2 weeks, and he decided just to leave. And that was like right after school. He started to run because his mom picks him up. So he just decided to go to the other side of the building.
Okay, Nate. So in that time frame between Friday when he ran away after school until yesterday, did you see him in that time frame between that Friday?
Yeah.
When did you see him?
Sunday and Saturday and yesterday.
So you
Damn.
saw him every day.
They be
since he ran
hanging
away.
out.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a second of hesitation before Nathan reveals that he'd been with Antonio on Monday, the day of the murder. He was likely debating whether to lie or be honest about seeing Antonio that day. Not only is he being stared down by police, but he likely knows that Antonio is in custody already. What he doesn't know is whether he's...
How did they go pick up the grandson and the friend so quick? Like, they're leaving out some crucial evidence or some information for how, like, the murder happened, police are investigating, and the next thing you know, like, they have these two kids locked up, confined, being interrogated? Like, how did they, like, know to go talk to these people so quick?
He's spoken to the police already, or what all he might have told them.
Until one of my neighbors, who was actually related to me, noticed it. And then,
Noticed what?
Noticed that I was, like, staying at his house when
okay.
there was a warrant out for my arrest and all that.
And when was that again?
That would be
Oh, my neck just popped so good, Chet.
When was that?
Did you
The
hear
day
that?
I got picked back up would be 2 days ago.
Both boys tell the same story, that
It's so crazy to me. These motherfuckers, bro, he's got a cross. He's a murderer. What the fuck?
Antonio stayed
Not
at
very
Nathan's
Christian.
at night on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Pop
and that
lock
they
and
spent their
saga.
days
Bro, I need to
just
see a
walking
chiropractor,
around.
Jason. It's like so
Oh
expensive.
no, Monday, I remember Nathan had to go to school. So I was sitting in the house all day.
At his house?
Yeah, I was watching TV most of the day. And like you can check the records, he was at school and all that. I remember I was sitting there watching TV most of the day until he got home.
Rubbing the front of
I
the
go
neck is a
weekly.
common
$5 to go see a chiropractor? What the hell?
soothing technique, as it stimulates the vagus nerves
like
and
$200
sends signals
here.
to your brain to slow down your heart rate. People do this subconsciously when they're feeling insecure or threatened. In addition to the excessive
That's so
neck
cool,
rubbing,
Peanut.
Antonio tells detectives they can check the school's records to prove that Nathan was at school on the day of the murder. This is an example of a qualifying statement or an add-on that is meant to increase the credibility of a claim.
Bro,
However,
I can't wait to hear the reason why they fucking killed their grandma.
qualifying statements are, ironically, a common indicator of dishonesty.
And I'm quite sure we just walked around a little bit, came back, watched TV because it was already late by then.
And this is Monday, what, afternoon or evening or what?
Yeah, like around after school.
That's
Did you
insane.
stay overnight
It really
again
is.
Monday night then? At his place?
Yeah, Monday night I stayed, and then Tuesday, I think he decided not to go to school, but I didn't know that till I woke up.
No school?
And then we got up, started walking around.
Antonio is recalling a lot of detail about his time at Nathan's house, when just a few minutes ago, he appeared to be struggling to remember where he was on Sunday night.
That's what I'm saying, Chet. It would be so hard to keep all these lies together. Like, yeah, I don't really remember where I was, but when I was there, I was doing this, and I was playing hide and go seek, and then I found a marble on the floor, and then we ate chicken pot. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
This type of omission
You gotta
can
be
considered
consistent.
an example of memory of extremes, which describes when a suspect remembers details of less
Paige? You're right, I'm a lunatic. We're talking about true crime now and how to get away with it.
pertinent events, but will then claim to be unable to recall details of an event that occurred, say, only 4 days ago.
And then
Local
that's
man.
when Ethan came over. Like, he was like, hey, Tino, like, I haven't seen you for a while, that type of stuff. And then he was kind of like next to me, but a little behind me, so I didn't see it. And then he just like grabbed me, and then he just yells, I got him. I remember then they called my mom. She came and picked me up. She talked with my...
No, you're not,
I think
Jason.
it's
Talk more. I love active
attorney.
chatters.
And then she talked with him, and he said just to stay at my house for the night. And then in the morning, just to come over there, and then we'd have
The raspy voice is an indicator he's lying. I have a raspy voice.
our like
Am I lying right now?
session or whatever it was, like where we were talking about the case.
Okay.
So
How old is this kid? He's 13 and he killed his grandma for $100.
we went to my house, stayed there for the night.
That was
And-
Tuesday night?
Yeah, and then
We won't keep eye contact with them. And he's scratching every part of his body. He's making me itchy, bro. He keeps
we went
scratching
there,
himself
and
so
then we
much.
talked with him about my case, and then he was checking to see if there was warrants for my arrest, which there was. So then
And not
he
only
was talking with my social worker,
did he
and then I came
kill
here,
his grandma,
and
he
they
bashed
said
her
today
skull
at
into jelly.
11:15, I have my hearing deciding where I go.
Who else does Tino hang out with?
2012 or some
He
shit.
used to
Yeah.
hang out with Nick, but they're not friends anymore.
Do you know why they
And
don't
jelly,
hang out
no,
anymore?
turned his skull into jelly.
He broke into his house before.
Who broke into whose house before?
You know?
Broke into
Nick.
Antonio's pattern of shamelessly violating the rights of others is another sign of possible conduct
That
disorder.
Justin Bieber hair,
It's
bro.
usually diagnosed during childhood and can be a precursor for antisocial personality disorder as an adult.
Nah, he's a
Kids with
psychopath.
conduct disorder consistently display behaviors such as aggression towards people and animals, destruction
I have aggression towards females. I'm kidding. He probably hated his grandma, so he offed her.
of property,
We're gonna find out,
deceitfulness or
hopefully,
theft,
Rose.
and the
Rose, so
frequent
good to see
violation
you.
of rules. Though he checks off multiple boxes, to our knowledge, Antonio has not been diagnosed with conduct disorder.
The hat bounced
know
on top
about
of his
that
head. You guys remember we used to wear hats like that, like on the back of our heads? Like look at the. Did you guys see that man's hat?
I know he took money, and I don't remember the
Paige,
time.
don't.
How long haven't they been friends?
Don't.
Couple
Don't
weeks ago.
remind me. I still do.
Did this
You
happen
pull it
right
off.
after he broke into the house?
Peanut. I know you got some. I know you got some crazy pics from that era. Peanut. Did you have the emo hair, the emo bangs?
It happened a while ago, but I think they just found out like 2 weeks ago.
Do you know how
No,
Nick
I
found
haven't
out?
pressed it. Don't say anything.
Set up
No, it's funny.
cameras.
So he broke into their house more than once?
Yeah.
Do you know how many times?
Breaking
that,
into their grandparents' house.
4 times that
Plead the
Tino
fifth.
broke into Nick's house.
Oh, should I still have those pics? Guys, if you guys had an emo phase, like a true emo phase, send it in Discord photo dump. I want to see everyone's emo. Dude, bring back those emo bangs. Those shits were so hot. Bro, I wish I was like an adult during that time. I remember like seeing like the girls at the mall, like the teenage and young 20 adults, and I was like a kid and like the emo bang. Oh, bro, what a time to be alive. You and yours. Yeah, me and mine. Me right now. You don't have the emo bangs. Okay. This is what I'm talking about when the emo bangs. Listen, some raw XD shit. This is emo bangs, alright? Like, this is what we're talking about here. That shit, mwah. Go through my Facebook. Oh my god, bro. Like, this was my type growing up. Not the emo bangs. Bro, I loved when girls had their hair like that, bro. Oh my god, yes! Look at that shit. Brings back so many memories. What I'm talking about, bro. Okay, this one is it. This is it. This is perfect. You would. Because my parents, that's the one. I have the one I covered. Of course, you could have the classic emo cut. This is kind of like the classic basic one. Oh, that's fire. Okay, we could look at emo girls all day. Anyways, this guy is the emo bangs.
House?
Yeah.
You would.
How do you know that?
I was just
Nathan is very evasive about his involvement in breaking into Nick's house.
More of an
Up
awkward
until
emo.
this point,
You're
he
not
talked
you're
about
not
the
an emo if
break-ins
you
as
weren't
if
awkward.
Antonio was acting alone. He only confessed to being there when he was directly questioned about the information he knew. He seems to be trying to deflect all the responsibility onto Antonio when he was also present and very likely complicit in the crime.
Were you caught on camera too then, Nate?
Yeah.
Being entangled in this
The murder was caught on. They had cameras in the house.
many legal issues at such a young age is an indication that these behaviors likely would have continued and developed into a criminal career without the proper intervention.
I don't think it'd be a
The
criminal
greatest thing
career.
of
They're
note here
murdering
is that
people.
Nathan has engaged
murder
in
a
criminal
career?
behavior with Antonio multiple times before. They've begun to establish a pattern of behavior that the two of them have when they're together. The combination of their personalities might have made them capable of doing things together that they might.
Yeah, chat. Do you guys have people in your life, or when you were growing up, that like alone you were fine, alone they were fine, but like when you came together, bro, like you're gonna get into some shit. There was gonna be some drama. There was gonna be some fights. You're gonna get drunk. Like I had a friend like that. Like we were so good friends, but like bro, when we would get together, bro, we would just get into so much trouble. Obviously, we weren't fucking murdering people, but like bro, I remember like. Every time I used to hang out with them, bro, like we would somehow always go get drunk. We'd always get into a fucking drama. There would always be something when we got together. Daily, like we'd get our asses into something. We'd fucking get kicked out of us somewhere. We'd fucking get a flat tire. We'd fucking get into a fight with some random dudes. Like we'd always just get into shit.
Might not have done alone. After almost an hour of being interviewed, it's suspicious that Nathan hasn't inquired as to why the detectives are there.
Bro, I think that's so funny when like police detective shows up at people's house and they're trying to act innocent and they just come in, they're like, all right, and they start questioning them and like they're acting like they don't know anything. But it's like, bro, if you don't know anything, aren't you gonna be like asked why there are detectives, all these police at your house? They're just like, oh, welcome in, police. I've been expecting you. Like, bro.
Even more odd is the fact that Nathan's mother is present, yet hasn't spoken up in any way to protect her son, request an attorney, or ask any questions.
I got you.
This is a possible indicator that Nathan and his mom are used to dealing with law enforcement in relation to his past conduct.
So you guys got caught on camera a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did Nick or Nick's family call the police?
Yeah. That's the only reason why she was insulted her.
Since he ran away on Friday, you talked about when you saw him and that.
Yeah.
And
Peanut, let me see.
aside from the times that he stayed overnight at your house on Saturday and left on Sunday, it seems like it's pretty limited. So you guys didn't have an opportunity to go out and get into any trouble, did you?
No.
Okay. You guys didn't do anything against the law
No.
together?
Do anything against the law together, like murder? She's like, you do anything against the law? Something like, I don't know, murder? Did you murder someone the other night?
This Friday?
No.
Did he tell you that he did anything against the law?
No.
The detective is hoping that Nathan will take the bait and at least admit to Antonio having done something illegal, but he continues to deny. At this point, detectives have dedicated about an hour to asking ancillary questions. Once she begins digging deeper into the crime in question, there's a good possibility that either Nathan won't be as generous with information, or that he or his mother might request a lawyer. With those possibilities in mind, the detective is likely making sure that she extracts all the information she can get out of him before
Nathan
the real
seems boring as hell.
begins.
And Nathan's mom, when was she around? Does she work or?
She does work, but it sometimes varies. She does a lot of overtime. Otherwise, I think she.
Why'd they put that in quotations?
Monday to Friday till like 3, I think.
Antonio seems to know a considerable amount about Nathan's mom's work schedule.
Is she a MILF?
He even notes her occasional overtime.
Is that why?
This knowledge has probably helped him and his friend Nathan sneak around in the past.
Would there be any
Bro, I almost just spilled my Monster on my keyboard. I would have fucking cried.
reason at all that some of these people that we've talked to would have said that you would have not necessarily been at Nathan's on Monday afternoon?
No, because no one knew where I was. That's why I was missing.
Okay. Were you in any vehicles at all at any time? Do you have any other friends that have cars or vehicles of any kind that you were with?
Nate, I remember Nate's mom has a car, and he took the car, and I was in it once, and we went one time around the block.
Antonio may be trying to appear open and honest by confessing to the relatively insignificant crime of underage driving. In reality, he's only emphasizing his disregard for rules and the safety of others. His ability to get away with reckless activities of this caliber is evidence of an
apparent... Whatever the photos, you could just send them to me or post them in photo dump. Whatever. I just like seeing, it's like seeing the old emos.
Lack of parental supervision. Antonio is being raised by a single mother,
Elder
which makes
emos.
it nearly impossible to have eyes on him every hour of the day. If a single parent doesn't have a strong support system with which to raise a child, there is a significantly higher risk of that child developing behavioral issues of some sort. The time his mom spends at work or taking care of other matters explains these wide windows of opportunity that Antonio has to engage in these illegal and dangerous activities.
Holy fuck.
You and Nathan?
Yeah.
What kind of a car is that?
It's pretty crappy red car. I don't know what it's called.
I assume it's not a new car, it's an older one? Or?
Yeah, it's an older car. And then...
When was that?
Is he flexing on him? Did he just flex on the investigators? Right, he's like, don't fuck with me.
I think Sunday.
And Nathan was driving it? You were in it? Where did you go then?
Just around the block once.
Would there be any reason at all?
Why would you just drive around the block once?
That when we've talked with people, and like I said, we've talked to a bunch of people and we're still talking to people, that anyone would say that you would have been at your grandma's? Great-grandma's, I'm sorry?
No, I had no reason to.
The detective asks Antonio what's known as a bait question.
No
to see
reason
how he'll
to
respond, or if he'll at least admit to being close to the crime scene.
And all my photos are gone. If you want to, you have to do something, Jason. There's a website through MySpace. You can look it up, and if you use it, it'll because MySpace is MySpace 2 now. So I had to do the same thing. You can it'll import all your photos and everything from the original MySpace. It's through the MySpace website.
It's interesting that his answer emphasizes the idea that he had no business in that area rather than a simple no.
Because the original MySpace is shut down and they have like a whole brand new MySpace website. It's not shut down, it's just not operating anymore.
I mean, so you gotta import it. Known I was there, I wouldn't have just randomly been there.
So you're straight out saying, and you had said before that the last time you saw her at all was at least a month ago?
Yeah.
So you would straight out be saying...
I like how he's still flipping and trying to fix his hair while he's going to prison. Just murdered someone, he's always trying to make sure his emo bangs are looking good.
If anybody said that they specifically saw you at your great-grandma Barb Olson's house...
Bro, he's picking at his face so much.
...within the past 2-3 weeks or something, that they're lying.
I'll have to look at it after stream.
The suspect clearly seems unconfident in his answer here. Innocent individuals are usually definite and forceful in their answers, especially if they're being accused of something. On the other hand, individuals who aren't completely guilt-free will give characteristically vague and weak answers that display their uncertainty.
I always give vague answers.
People that live by your great-grandma know you from seeing you there or anything?
No, I don't think so. I don't know any of them.
Would there be any reason that somebody would say that they saw someone about your size, height, with that type of a haircut?
Like I said, that type of haircut. He goes, that emo haircut.
At your great-grandma's house? Within the past week?
In the past, no.
It's unclear whether anyone truly told police
Dang,
that they
he's
saw
solid,
someone
bro.
who looked
He's
like
not
Antonio
folding.
around Barbara Olson's house.
He's not taking any bait
Police will
questions.
often reference evidence that they don't actually possess in order to get a suspect to confess. This maneuver is both legal and commonly used in the interrogation of suspected criminals.
Okay, so you're straight out saying
Profiling properly.
you weren't there and they must be mistaken or lying or something.
True.
Yeah.
Do you have any enemies that for any reason at all would lie about something like that? Especially if there was a serious incident involving your great-grandma that they would want to point the police to you, basically?
Not really. For sure not in Falls, because I barely go there. And then in Sheboygan, I really don't have that many enemies. I tend to get along with most people pretty easily.
Do you have a job or anything that you can make money, or do you get paid an allowance or anything like that?
We were talking about allowance, but then I started getting in trouble, and then we never finished it. Finished talking about
poor
it.
baby. With your type of haircut, bro.
The detective
Is your
suspects
type,
that there might be
you
a financial
emos.
motivation behind what happened to Antonio's
But how?
great-grandmother.
So,
Sheboygan makes me giggle.
if
Me
you need
too.
something, if you need new clothes, if you
Sheboygan.
want some soda, if you want something like that, does your mom give you the money, or how does that work, or you just don't get it, or what?
Oh,
Damn, bro. He's fidgety as
if
fuck.
it's not that much, my mom will usually get it. But otherwise, I really don't get stuff.
Antonio's
poor
answer
baby.
indicates that he comes from a low-income household. Oftentimes, young
Damn! Why are you roasting?
people who commit theft and similar crimes do so largely because of deprivation.
That's not actual deprivation. You saw that photo. He had a cell phone to take the selfie with. He had a flat bill hat and a fucking goofy cross chain. He's not deprived. Deprivation is when you don't have food for dinner. That's when you're deprived and you start committing crimes. Okay?
This is concerning when combined with the fact that Antonio
Bruh.
has demonstrated that he has no problem breaking the law in order to get his way.
Nah, he just...
If I were to tell you that your great-grandma Barb Olson was killed, would that surprise you?
This could be the freeze response. When someone encounters a
Damn,
threat,
he didn't even...
they may stop
Bro,
all
he
movement
didn't
so
even
they don't draw
move or
unnecessary
do
attention
anything.
to themselves. Most innocent individuals would express shock, surprise, or sadness at hearing that a family member was killed. But Antonio appears to be frozen and shows no visible reaction. Someone who's guilty
Holy
may feel
shit!
panicked when they find out the
Mikkel, I
victim
knew
has
you'd
been
be
found
back. Welcome back.
because they're worried about getting caught. Momentarily freezing is one way the body handles stress until the brain can kick in and decide what the best course of action is.
Would you have any idea at all how that could have happened?
No.
No idea.
Bro, he's cold.
No.
Mikkel. Bro, they just told him his grandma died. He gave no reaction. He's like, do you have anything to do with it? No. Do you know anyone who does? No.
I take it you're not real close to her as far as hearing that news and just...
I mean, as I said, I never talked to her that often.
As I said, is a referral statement.
Jesus.
It may be used by suspects to make their story sound
So
more
good to see you,
credible.
Caitlin. I'm glad you're here.
Referral
We can cheer
statements
you up.
build on the
The
idea
bait?
of repetition.
That's wild.
The more you hear something, the more believable it may seem.
We love you,
Antonio
Caitlin.
needs to find
Hope
a
you feel
way to
better.
explain why he doesn't appear upset about his grandma.
God damn. Look at his haircut in this one. Damn. Imagine having a picture with the person who kills you. Like, this motherfucker grows up to murder you.
May think that if he can convince the detective that he wasn't close to her, this
Going to
will
be on, I'm looking
explain
there,
his
gonna
lack of
mention
emotion.
Adam Sandler tonight. That'd be
It's
dope.
important in this moment to remember that Antonio isn't the conventional suspect. He's only a teenager. Thus, the state of development that his brain is in plays a big part in his
We've been talking
actions
about
and
that.
reactions. Teenagers
Alex?
can be
Welcome
very
back.
self-centered, and this can be due in part to the fact that the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain,
Chat, you guys don't
doesn't
have a
fully
prefrontal
develop until
cortex.
one is in their mid-20s. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for logical thinking,
That's why,
comprehension.
see, listen. That's why you guys should listen to me. Like, my prefrontal cortex is finally getting solid. You know what I'm saying? You guys gotta listen to me. I know what I'm saying. You guys, like, it's just science. You guys think you're right, but you're not logical. Sin logical. My brain's dead. Same. What's happened since I've gone? Not yet, it hasn't. It's solid. It's still a little squishy, Mick, but there's some solid bits and chunks to it. It's like a half-cooked egg right now.
Of how one's decisions affect other people.
A little runny.
Therefore, it's entirely possible that, though it's a tragic event, Antonio doesn't feel that his great-grandmother's death affects his everyday life and doesn't yet have the cognitive ability to clearly see how it will affect other people, which explains his emotional detachment from the situation.
Basically, he don't give a fuck.
This can't possibly explain his reaction or lack thereof in its entirety. It's worth noting.
Like, I did a little bit, but not that much.
Since I'm gone? Bro, what happened? Since you were gone? You don't... listen, don't go, and then you get to experience the happening. We all share one brain cell, so I don't know what you're talking about. We all share... Never mind.
Do you use drugs at all?
Yeah.
Any kind of drugs?
I have done drugs, yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you used any kind of a drug?
At least a week ago.
The detective is clearing the
what a
possibility
badass.
that Antonio might have been
Is
on
he
drugs
woke?
at the time of the murder. If he were to have committed this crime in an intoxicated state,
Yes,
that could open the
Alex, I do.
possibility for Antonio to use the diminished capacity defense in court.
Bro, why does he have like a kitty cat face? Like he actually has the 3 face.
Just weed.
You haven't used any weed at all since about a week ago? Something like that?
Yeah.
About a week ago.
So, again, if I came and said that we've talked with people that had mentioned that you were smoking marijuana within a week, like within a day or two, what would be
I
that?
don't know how I would know, because when I do it, it's usually just by myself and like somewhere where no one's around.
So if somebody was talked to that said that they sold you weed within that week, that would be a lie?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seemed pretty
And if you would
confident.
take a blood test or something, that's going to come back and show that it's been at least a week?
Yeah.
This is a misleading statement.
Me and a
from the
friend actually
detective.
spun out and ended up
No
in a
drug
ditch earlier
test,
today. God
including a
damn.
blood test, can
Maybe he's
reveal
a
exactly how
furry.
long it's been
He kind of
since the
looks.
suspect
He kind of looks like he's from Whoville.
last did drugs. Rather, a drug test tells conclusively whether a person has done drugs within a certain time frame, based on whether traces of the drug are still present in their system. A blood test specifically can tell whether or not a person has smoked marijuana within the last 3 days, or up to a week for heavy users.
A
Have you ever
week?
been in that car, though?
Isn't it way longer now?
I think I've been in the back before if she's like bringing me to my other grandma's house that's in Sheboygan Falls. But that would have been a really long time ago.
Like, what are we talking
Bro,
about?
the hair flip.
Like
It's perfect.
4 or 5
Judge
months ago.
McDonald.
But it was at least 4 or 5 months since you were in that vehicle.
I'm glad you're
It's been
okay,
a
Alex.
really long
For
time.
real though.
So if we get evidence, and I'll tell you right now,
Bro, this detective is pissing me off. He's like, if someone said, bro, confront him. He's tired of this conversation. Bro, they're about to hit him with something heavy. They have to.
we have that vehicle, and it's going to be able to show as far as fingerprints or whatever probably, that you've been in there within 4 to 5 months.
If this claim sounds outlandish, that's because it is. It is not possible to date fingerprints. This
Oh
is likely
shit, he
another way to
lied.
intimidate Antonio into confessing. In
Oh,
recent
bad.
years, states across the country have begun to acknowledge that lying to minors in an interrogation is coercive and poses a much higher likelihood of yielding a false confession
What?
than if the suspect were an
The
adult.
detective
Some
L.
states insist that suspects under 15 years of age have a parent, guardian,
L
or other
detective.
interested party present with them
Did you get an
during
answer?
questioning. This
Jason,
is because
this guy's
typically
wild.
young offenders don't fully understand the gravity of the situation or their right to remain silent, which automatically gives the detective the upper hand.
Isn't it crazy that this kid is handling the interrogations better than like the adults we watched before?
Situation just like this.
I just want to make sure, you're pretty sure that's the last time you were in there, right?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't show that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't show it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any of your friends ever been in that car that you're aware of?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
He's probably a sociopath. He just
Actually,
like
the only
me.
friend you even talked about is Nathan, I think, right?
Yeah.
Rubbing or covering the eyes is another indicator of possible deception, as it can be a subconscious attempt to hide from the
Bro,
detective
Bro,
or
the narrator's already told us about this eye covering thing already.
the situation as a whole.
Where you stayed, has he ever been in that car? That you're aware of? And I'm assuming you would have been with him, right? Or does he know your great-grandma?
I know his great grandma
He's been there
Chet.
once.
I met her several times.
Yeah, I think one of the times when I was working, he went with.
And do you remember
Love
ever
me a gilf.
being in your grandma's car, great-grandma's car, I'm sorry, Barb Olson's car with your friend Nathan in the car too?
Barb.
No.
She's a Barb, chat.
So as far as you know, he's never been in that car, correct? Unless he would have been there alone, which, is that doubtful?
His friend's in his grandma's car alone.
Probable.
I don't see how he would have been.
This is another example of a qualified
You think this kid's a Barb?
Innocent people typically provide a more direct response, such as a simple yes or no. Instead, Antonio is being careful and giving ambiguous answers that he can later turn around and change.
Antonio really is being ambiguous.
So you'd be extremely surprised if he's been in that
You're
car.
a Barb.
Yeah.
Starship.
The detective creates a long silence by pausing to take notes. This is also
dude, I hate long silences, bro, when talking to people. Ew. If you make a long silence, bro, I'll just walk away. If you make shit awkward for me during a conversation, L for you. You're missing out on the conversation. I'm out of there.
Interrogation strategy, as a suspect will often find the quietness
What the fuck? That's the funniest chat I've read tonight, Jason. He has tank-like attributes. Why is that so funny to me?
comfortable and continue talking in order to break the awkward silence. However, it seems that Antonio
Jason,
has
bro.
nothing
Never
else to
changed.
say. It's worth noting that the interrogation has been going on for over half an hour, and Antonio hasn't pressed the issue of what exactly happened to his great-grandmother, how she was killed, or who could have hurt her.
Don't budge. Bro, he really is hanging in there pretty solid for this interrogation. An hour and a half, holds his ground. The last person only made like 45 minutes and started collapsing and crying and breaking down, and he's a 20-year-old dude.
This line of questioning is often lacking when a person is guilty. They simply don't think to ask because they already know what happened.
So what's the most recent time you would have been in your grandma's bedroom, do you think?
Probably to go to the bathroom.
I'm always in his grandma's bedroom.
Which would have been last time I was working.
And that was a month or so ago.
Yeah. So that would have been when I went in there to go to the bathroom.
Right. And as far as being in your grandma's room, would you have just gone in there to
I'm going to after I finish this video, and then we're going to raid Benzo.
the bathroom?
Yeah.
Or what?
That would be it. I would have used it to go to the bathroom. Like, gone from there, went to the bathroom, came back out, went around.
And you've never seen
Going to bed. No, not yet.
like if she kept her jewelry on a counter, what she would keep it in, anything like that? Do you have any idea at all?
If I had to take a guess, I'd say their bedroom like everyone else.
Damn!
He's
getting sassy.
He could be experiencing excessive tiredness in relation to his marijuana usage.
Bro, leave us marijuana users alone, okay? What's up, Noodles? Like, chill out, bro. It's not that bad.
Or he could genuinely be sleeping poorly in such uncomfortable conditions.
Yeah.
An alternative explanation for the yawning could be a heightened level of anxiety,
He probably is just
which
tired,
can be relieved
bro.
by delivering more air into the lungs. In fact, in just the last 30
Delivering more
seconds,
cum into my
Antonio has
balls.
pursed his lips, yawned, sniffled, touched his face,
No
and scratched
way!
his neck and the back of his
Bro,
head.
say it ain't true.
This is the exact kind of behavior the FBI looks for when interrogating a suspect.
He's so fidgety, bro. Look at him wipe his nose. He's like, "Ugh."
3 or more stress-adapting behaviors in quick succession is considered a
Bro,
heavy
Justin
indicator
Bieber
of
is
deception.
wild and
Antonio has exhibited basically every body language behavior possible for heightened levels
Or
of
just
anxiety
bored.
and stress.
Those are just normal little things people do. Listen. Body language analysis is a science, but it can also just they can just be moving. But you can pick up on lies and different things through body analysis. That is a true thing. So is every single thing he's doing because he's nervous or whatever? No, but it can be. Is what they're saying.
I know. I think I've seen a few things on top of her dresser when I've walked by. That's all I really remember about it.
Could there be any reason that you would have bragged to somebody or anything about stealing a car within the past couple weeks?
Look at him smile.
And again, is there any reason that somebody would say that?
I don't really know.
Instead of outright
If he was being interrogated, even if I was innocent, I'd be anxious as fuck. Well, honestly, bro, out of all the true crime interrogation we've watched, this kid's actually handling it really well. He fucking murdered his grandma for $100 in the most brutal fashion you can imagine. He fucking, like, bashed her head and then turned her head into a fucking, like, jam. That's why I gotta go solo.
Denying this time, Antonio claims he doesn't know. His
I have
answer
no
to
witnesses.
each bait question seems to be getting more and more uncertain as the interrogation drags on.
Damn, real for $100. Well, $155.
Said that, but I don't know why someone would have said it.
Okay. Would there be any reason that there would be a text or anything?
You think you're an
Would say something like that?
Jason?
I have no idea. I haven't had my phone. I haven't had my phone for like a month now. And I know Nate's phone doesn't work. And I know his mom's phone only goes on the internet a little bit.
Did you have a cell phone before?
I did before, like, I was getting in trouble. I had a cell phone.
When you went to school on Monday, what were you wearing?
Black shirt.
He's a bit broke, bro.
And black shoes.
I mean, he's
Another thing
13.
I'm
What does he
thinking,
really need money
if this
for?
is okay with you, Nate, and with your mom, is that I'd just like to take some pictures of your shoes and the bottom of your shoes. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though Nathan
Dang, bro,
responds
Nathan
in the
is scared.
affirmative, he certainly doesn't seem very enthused about the idea.
Bro, he knows
It's
he's
likely
fucked.
that while ransacking the home, Antonio and Nathan left shoe prints, possibly bloody ones, at the crime scene. The
wanna see the
photographs they'll
crime
take
scene.
of Nathan's shoes will be compared to the prints found at the crime scene and used as corroborating evidence that he was indeed present at Barbara's house around the time the murder was committed.
When you
Murder.
got put
He
in
doesn't
here,
care.
what
He's trying
kind
to
of clothes were you
deceive
wearing?
them. I don't know. I feel like he's kind of given up. Like, in his voice, he sounds defeated.
I wore clothes with a lot of designs, like a really designed t-shirt with like blue like coloring that was like shiny, and then a black like overcoat thing that I buttoned down the two bottoms, and then I'm quite sure light jeans.
Blue or what?
Yeah, like bluer jeans, and then my shoes.
Did you have socks or not?
I'm wearing my socks.
The same ones you got?
Yeah.
Dang, they didn't give him new socks?
If we would look at those shoes, would there be any reason at all that we would find any blood on them?
No.
And if we would find blood on them, what would that be from? Can you think of anything? Were you ever near anything in the past couple weeks that there was any blood there?
Not really.
Not
that I can
really?
think of.
This is referred to as a selective memory
Bro, isn't it crazy how confident and, like, nonchalant he is? When literally, bro, like, you actually murdered your grandma, bro. This kid is actually a psychopath.
statement. Statements like these are hard to refute and easy for suspects to go back and change without it being obvious that they're outright lying.
Like, obviously
No
he's
way.
lying, but he's
This
a
is
good
still
liar.
Strange
Like-
statements. And
Like, you know when someone's lying, but you can't really catch them in it, so there's, like, nothing you can do?
anyone, especially someone with only one pair of shoes, would surely remember stepping in blood.
Are you the only person that wears those shoes?
Yeah.
So you never borrow them to Nathan, you never borrow them to your other friends that you...
No, I don't
Anyone?
borrow shoes because then I don't have shoes to wear because I only have one pair.
Would it be okay with you if we took those
Damn.
shoes and checked them for blood?
Sure.
That were innocent? Oh, people, bro, back in the day, bro, like, just even back, like, 150 years ago, husbands were getting their accusing their wives of, like, horrible crimes left and right and getting them murdered. Like, if you look back at, like, the history of, like, the criminal justice system, even just in America in the beginning times, yes. Literally, there were so many people who got unfair punishments and death penalties and whatever from back in the day. It was terrible.
But I do have my hearing today.
Even 80, 50
so
years
I
ago.
need them for that. Otherwise, I can't walk.
Have you cleaned them
And
lately
you did
at all?
nothing.
Not really. I
You
don't.
didn't throw them in a dishwasher, you didn't put a bunch of bleach on them, something like that?
No. I don't really clean my shoes.
Okay.
Ew.
We'll get back to that, I'm not sure, but
Rip
I appreciate
Alex.
you letting us do it, and that might help us to clear some stuff up. When's the last time you went out to eat anywhere? You know,
To eat.
actually out someplace, not just at Nathan's or at home or something, or at school. I mean,
This
like
is
out
where
to a
this is where the story's gonna fall apart, I think.
restaurant or
Restaurants.
something like
I
that.
don't remember the last time I went to a restaurant. It had to have been months ago.
When's the last time you were at Theo's Pizza?
Damn!
It was pizza.
Suspects may repeat the question in order to give themselves an extra moment or two to think about how
This
they
is
want
where
to
they have them on
respond to a
tape at.
particular question. If they didn't have an answer ready and they didn't repeat the question, they would be left with an awkward silence. This uncomfortable lag in conversation could increase the suspect's anxiety, and they may worry that the detective will see their pause as suspicious.
This is where it gets intense.
I've been there just like 2 days ago. Maybe 3.
He lied.
With the exact name of the restaurant, Antonio changes his answer as if it had slipped his mind. It's hard to believe that someone would have completely forgotten something that only happened 2 or 3 days ago.
So within that 2 to 3 months then?
Well, no, I mean like 2 or 3 days.
Right, so that's within 2 or 3 months that you just said, right? So it's
I guess
2 or 3 days ago, which if today's Thursday, you're saying either Tuesday or Monday?
I'm gonna guess Tuesday.
Tuesday?
I think Tuesday.
When someone is feeling very stressed, their mouth and throat may become dry. This can lead to behavior
He's getting
such
fucked
as drinking
now.
more water,
We're seeing the cracks
clearing
shut.
of the throat, or increased licking of the lips.
Do you know about what time?
Licking of the lips. Bro, I should call her.
I'm gonna say like about 1. It's
in the afternoon?
Oof.
Yeah, it's just a guess though.
He's getting
Were you
shaken.
there alone, or?
Lamel.
We went to get pizza.
So, how did you guys get to Theo's Pizza?
It's not that far of a walk.
So you just walked?
Yeah, it's not that far.
About how far?
Probably about a 30-minute walk.
Damn, he's lying so hard right now.
Butcher Nate's, we had $20.
And where did you get that, do you know?
I remember we found that on the floor at his house.
That day or when?
Damn, bro. Imagine just finding $20 on the floor of your house. I wish I had that problem. They could just get away with killing people. Bro, you're going to get caught in this day and age. Back in the day, bro, you could get away with murdering people. Like, so many people got away with murder back in the day. Nowadays, no. It's not going to happen. One time. Yeah, can one time I find a $20 bill on the ground? Like, that's all I ask. I have never once been like that person who found a $100 bill. I was once with some people and my friends, and they saw something like a cup sitting somewhere and like something underneath it. And they went up to the cup and they found $400, literally $100 bills just sitting there. And I literally walked over there, and I was over there before they were, and I didn't even see it. What the fuck, Caitlin? You can't find $2 on the ground of a movie theater? What the fuck? I'm the one who loses money. I lose my dap pins, I lose my money, and you are the motherfuckers who find it.
So,
Well, it doesn't sound like you have a whole lot of money, so if you found a $20 bill, it should stick out, right?
yeah.
So you're pretty sure that it was Tuesday that you found it on the
Look
floor?
how much he's
Nate?
shaking his
It was
legs now.
either Tuesday morning when I woke up, or it'd be
So
Monday
Monday.
like, late at night. Because I remember that
Besides
we were
that,
hungry, so we decided
when you start
to get
looking
pizza
harder.
because it's not that much money. It's only for like
Jason, shut up.
$5.25 for a pizza.
Okay,
$5.25 for a whole pizza? God damn, that's fucking good price.
I think basically, I'm going to give you one more chance to tell the truth, okay?
Damn.
I've already told you that we've talked with a lot of people, okay?
Alright.
And we've had the state crime lab in, we have a lot of evidence. You know, it's a video world nowadays. We have video evidence. We have a lot of stuff, okay? And I'll tell you right now, you're not telling me the truth.
This is another facet of the
Jeez.
Reed interrogation technique called a positive
See,
confrontation.
that's what they do. They let them lie for hours and build up this confidence in their lie, and they just lie, and the detective's like, oh, okay, they just go along with it. They go along with it. And then, like, after they do that for hours, they fucking, boom, they hit them with it, bro. They hit them with the confrontation, and it completely it completely shatters their confidence and completely erases that hour and 45 minutes they thought they were getting away and spinning a whole new story. And now in their head, they have to come up with a whole new story, start all over again. This is how they do it. And now he's broken.
Without being too aggressive, the detective is letting Antonio know definitively that they have evidence that proves that his story is untrue. The detective puts a little extra pressure on him by advising him that this is his very last chance to tell the truth.
Is there anything at all that you've talked to me about that you want to change your story and tell me the truth? Or do you want to stay with what I consider a lot of lies? And you need to really think about this, okay?
Damn.
And you need to think about your future, and you need to think about the potential of being in front of a judge and saying, he straight out lied about absolutely everything. He never took any credit for anything.
Yeah, that will not help you in front of a
and
judge.
said that he had nothing to do with anything at all as far as great Grandma Olson. So think about it for a second. Let me just make sure.
Imagine lying to people for like 2 hours thinking they're buying it, thinking they're listening every word, and they're like, yeah, you're lying. I plead I just a baby. That doesn't work
without specifically promising him any leniency by the prosecutor or judge in exchange for his honesty. Antonio sits in silence for several seconds.
It will help you in court if you do plead guilty. You're taking like a guilty plea if you're cooperative and honest.
Presumably thinking of things that an innocent person wouldn't have to think about.
I'll say this to you, Nate, and I'll say it for your mom to hear it too. You've obviously gotten in trouble with Tino before, and I don't know if Tino's done anything or not here, but it's really important that you take care of you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not get sucked into any trouble with him.
True. They should honestly, obviously they're kids, but they should honestly have lawyered up way before now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
You understand the seriousness of this, right?
No matter what, if cops ever suspect you of anything, always lawyer up.
That you're taking a big roll of the dice here, right? And apparently you want to try that.
Wait, with what?
With telling the truth or lying. You're telling me that you are straight up telling me the 100% truth about everything that you've told me, correct?
No.
Okay, I want you to clarify then what you haven't been told.
Don't talk to the cops at all. I mean, listen. If your fucking mom's missing and you want to find your mom and she's actually missing and you give the cops valuable information that helps you find her, that's different. But if you're guilty of killing your mom, then yeah, don't talk to him. No, the story changed.
Listen to the truth.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They broke him. That technique works. Okay, besides that, stay strong, mini thing. No. Jason, as soon as the read technique, it shows it in like all these videos, them using it. And after building that 2 hours of them just lying and then confronting them like this, bro, they always give up.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to a bunch of more lies, okay?
And it sounds like you've had a pretty tight time of being home here over the last few days.
Yeah.
But it's really important that if you know, even if you know, like you weren't there, because it sounds like you've been here at home or here at school, except for on yesterday, that if he told you about something that he did, and it doesn't get you into trouble by telling us if he told you things that he did. But I don't want it to be any trouble for you if he did tell you that he did something.
She's manipulating him.
Since he's been out of the way since last Friday. And I know you don't want to get your friend into trouble, but it's pretty important that you not try to cover for him. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me
he's
the
defeated,
truth,
bro. All he says is yeah.
That's all we're looking for is the truth. We don't want to pin something on somebody that doesn't deserve to have anything pinned on him or her or whatever. I want the truth, and that's what we're going for here, okay? So what do you want to clarify and tell me the truth about?
What else?
At that point, I'll just be like, who killed your grandma? You or Nathan? I'm getting eepy again.
Share with us.
Get some eep, dum-dum.
Can you write it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can write it down.
Nathan is basically speaking in a whisper at this point. He's likely experiencing symptoms of extreme stress.
Yeah, dude,
One
imagine.
of them being the drying of his mucous membranes. This dryness in the vocal cords can cause someone's pitch to sound different. His raspy voice,
because the possibility of
that he
prison
doesn't
for
even want
life.
to make the statement out loud indicates that whatever he has to say isn't any good.
Okay, Ken, here, I'll give you a piece of paper.
The room is dead silent, but for the sound of Nathan's sobs and the pen scratching against the paper.
Damn!
Nathan proceeds to scribble 9 words, then hands the note to the detective.
I can understand with what you wrote down. You're very scared.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nathan seems to be having an extreme emotional response to whatever is
What's on the
that
note?
as it sounds like he's still crying.
Except by SMR.
He's surely showing more emotion in this moment than Antonio showed throughout the duration
There's
of his
always a crazy one and the other one that's like emotional. The weak link.
interview so far.
Because you wrote that down, Nate, I want to be able to read Miranda rights to you. You understand what I'm saying?
The need to read Nathan his Miranda rights at this point indicates that whatever he confessed officially places him in police custody.
Realizing that you have these rights, are you now willing to answer questions or make a statement?
Yeah.
I know you wrote that down, and maybe
I'm not gonna look at videos in the middle of my stream, bro.
you wrote it down because you didn't want her to hear that. Is that why you wrote that down? Okay.
Damn.
It's common for juveniles to
What did it
withhold
say?
information when being questioned in front of a parent for fear of disappointing them. A parent's presence is more likely to stir up feelings of shame and remorse.
I was the one that killed his
to be
grandma
dishonest.
yesterday.
This seems to be especially true for Nathan, as he seems
It's like, do you want to play Fortnite?
to start sobbing uncontrollably when the detective goes to tell his mother what he wrote down.
So, Bobby, you heard us read the Miranda rights to your son, right? Okay. And you heard us talking with him, sitting where you're at, about basically what he's been up to and his association with Tino.
Fuck
and what he's been
Tino,
up to
bro.
since last Friday when
You being a
Tino
bitch.
ran away from school, right? Okay, and you could hear us talking about that and everything that he's done. I know, Nate, you just wrote that down on the piece of paper because you didn't want your mom to hear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
know
if
you're
Nathan's
really
mom
scared
is
right
hot.
now. You said you were with Tino.
Yo, Nathan looks like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
And when was that?
Monday.
Okay. So, Nate.
He's like, today, guys, we killed Tino's grandma, and I'm giving Tino 155 of his grandma's money.
Explain to you that we work with other police agencies on investigations, and so we're working on an investigation involving
What,
Tino's.
Jason?
It's his great grandma. Okay.
Not the time.
And you said
It's
you were
always the
with
time for Mr. Beast.
Tino on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tino did not go to school on Monday.
No.
Okay. And
He was here.
he was at your house
Yeah.
when you left for school on Monday.
Yeah.
Nathan is now answering questions clearly and without delay.
Oh, yeah, he's giving
indicating
in.
that this is likely the true version of events.
On Monday, when
He's
you got home
submitted.
from school, what happened, Nate?
We were talking, and then he said, I know how to get money.
Me and Nate did go to my grandma's
Oh, shit.
Monday. And he said to kill his grandma. But I thought he was just joking.
What? Tino killed his grandma Monday. Send me later. Yeah, just go ahead and send him. I'll look him after stream. That's 9 words. Damn.
That was me.
Okay.
And then I asked my mom to take us to Sheboygan
That's 9
Falls.
words.
And I told her that we were going to meet up with one of our friends.
Then we attacked her.
A very interesting choice
What
of
the
words
fuck?
when describing their crime.
Especially for $155. Alex, bro. This is insane. And right afterwards, he went and bought pizza with it.
Suspects will often use language that
For
makes
pizza,
the offense
bro.
sound less egregious, such as Antonio's use of the word attacked rather than killed.
You and Nate attacked her?
It was both of us.
With what?
Like hammer thing. And then
Like a
the
hammer
with
thing?
the axe at the other end.
And what time was it on Monday?
I don't know, like
Bro, you could have just like put on masks, robbed and beat her up. Why'd you murder her for the $155? You could have knocked her out. You could have like murder for Domino's deep dish. It wasn't even Domino's. It's some fucking joint called Theo's, Alex. It wasn't even any good shit. Really? It's all for $150? Yes, dude. You could have like beat her ass. You could have just fucking. Why not just kick the door in and take it? Listen, go to jail for murder. Go to jail for stealing $150 from your grandma. You fucking serious?
probably like 4, 5.
And why was this done?
At first I wasn't wanting to. Like we were in our garage through one of the doors just like waiting.
In the garage door.
Yeah, there's so much easier ways to make money, like, than fucking killing someone. would be a little awky. Well, imagine going to a family reunion like, oh yeah, where's Tino? Oh, he's in prison for life for killing grandma. I think that'd be a little more awkward.
Okay, the garage door was open at his grandma's house?
Yeah.
Either way, it's awkward.
There, and then he had a plastic bag he put over his head, but he couldn't see out of it, so he just took it off, and then right as I was to open the door, his grandma like walked out and said, "Who was that?"
Dude, imagine having like awkward conversations with like his grandma before he kills her. He's like, Tino, is that you? And you just look at him, he's got like a fucking weapon, and he runs at you and murders you.
And then she's like, "Is that Tino?" And she was like, "No." And I'm standing behind the door, and she like tells, because I like stepped on something, and then she said, "Come out." And I came out, and then
Wrong chat. I'm not really sure, but I think it's because he wants my phone. What the hell? This doesn't have to attend it now, bro. He's not attending anything.
and she's like, "What do you?" And she asked us if we were cold, and that's why we were in the garage. And Tino said, "Yeah."
It's heartbreaking to think that Barbara's
Damn! Her dying moment was like, are you hiding in here because you're cold? Because his grandma knew he was on the run.
very last act was one of care and concern for the two boys who, not even 10 minutes later, would mercilessly end her life.
Holy
And then she
fuck.
rushed in.
They both
She
did
said
it.
she was going to call my mom, and I was already missing and wanted with a warrant, and I didn't want that done. So then, yeah.
Bro, you're 13. You had a warrant for running away from home. Like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Antonio's answer evades the detective's question of exactly why he attacked Barbara. His answer explains why he would have chosen that very moment to attack.
That's the
But
reason.
it doesn't
That's not
explain
the reason.
what he and his friend are doing at his great...
Because he went there before that. Killing grannies. Because he did... No, Jason, he had the warrant before he saw his grandma. He went to his grandma to get money.
grandmother's house unannounced and armed with weapons. His true motive will later prove to be one of the most chilling aspects of Barbara's murder.
So that's your thought process? Is that you don't want grandma to call and, or great grandma to call and you get the warrant and the police are going to come or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you have that you attacked your great grandma with?
It was like an
Getting
axe-looking
incensed.
thing.
This is fucked.
How big was it about?
Like that.
So what are we saying, 12,
The
15
hatchet?
inches? Something?
Was it like a camping hatchet? Oh my god. Bro, he's talking about one of those camping hatchets that's got like the dull hatchet side where you can bust down like dead firewood and shit and dead little trees, and the other side's like a hammer for the stakes. Bro, that is a fucking brutal weapon. Like in the forest? No, that's sharp. It's like a camping hatchet because it's not like a sharp end. You try to find a picture. Maybe something like this kinda, but yeah, it's not super sharp. Like this is what he's talking about. Because usually these have a hammer on the backside for like nailing in stakes and stuff. No, it's blunt. But yeah, like a more blunt axe head. Sheesh. It was something like this. Hammer on other side. Yes! Maybe not as sharp as that, but like the hammer on the other side. Yes, this. This is what it was. Exactly. You guys seen these at Walmart? Those cheap little hatchets? It's got the hammer on one side and like that dull axe blade. He fucking... Bro, that's just like... That is a brutal way to go, and he fucking beat her head in. That's it right there. That's gotta be the weapon.
Something like that?
Probably.
You know what
Be
a
safe,
hatchet is
Cloud,
or not?
please.
I don't know what a hatchet is, but it was like an axe, but then it had like a flat side on it, like a flat metal side. And I think Nate just had a normal hammer.
Okay, did you see him with that hammer?
Yeah, I saw him with the hammer.
All right. Where did you get this small axe or whatever that you were talking
From my
about?
garage.
From your garage? And where did Nathan get that hammer?
I think that was just in his house.
Since the boys brought
Jesus!
weapons from other
Hammers and axes? Bro, they were going over there for a brutal murder for $150.
Locations to Barbara's house and didn't tell Nathan's mom the truth about where they were going.
Christ.
It's safe to say that their deadly assault was premeditated. What's even more disturbing is how monotone and impassive his description of events is. He's still maintaining his same cool demeanor and lack of emotion.
Yeah, he doesn't give a
However,
fuck.
Antonio isn't fidgeting nearly as much as he was before.
Yeah, the fidgeting stopped now that he's telling the truth. So the narrator was right about the body language, chat.
Lets detectives know that it's more
Or those
likely
doubting.
that he's telling the truth now.
Did you guys talk about this as far as what you were going to do? Obviously, if you got a hatchet and he got a hammer and you got a ride from his mom, there was some thought about it, right? What was the discussion?
We were deciding if and how we were going to do it.
So
and then,
fucked
like,
up.
how
You know,
we would
this
get
is-
a ride there, how
this
we get a
one's
ride
wild,
back,
bro.
all that.
So after your mom dropped you and Tino off by the roundabout at 42 and 28, what happened then, Nate?
We walked to her house, his grandma.
His grandma?
In
Oh
order
my
to get from where
God.
they were dropped off to Great-Grandma Barb's house, the boys would have to
And they have so many opportunities to turn back, rethink this, so many obstacles, and they go through with it regardless. They have to walk 2 miles.
have walked about
This is
2 miles.
gut-wrenching.
It takes the average person approximately 15 to 20 minutes to walk a single mile.
They had
This
about an
means that
hour.
The boys had at least a half hour to rethink their
No,
decisions.
they had an hour
before they
because they're
got
walking
to
across
Barbara's
streets,
door.
walking through the woods, walking.
And then
It's not like a
when we
straight
got a
track.
ride there,
It took an hour.
and we were in the garage. I didn't
City,
really
2 miles, city walking is like an hour and a half. With like the streets, the turns, going around buildings, going around roads. It's not just a straight shot if you get dropped off at like a shopping center.
want to do it as much. Like, I didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we were in the house, like, Nate was like nodding at me and all that. So then I took the first swing.
They have the ones that
Antonio's
kill,
claim that
the
he
actual
initially-
drive to do it. Dude, trust me. Like the other one we watched the other day, I was a young person, but there are so many kids like that are. It's kind of insane because it's like I doubt as many kids murder as adults, just because you're so much more capable as an adult to murder and you'll go through with it X, Y, Z. But I'm sure there's just as many children and kids who feel that they want and need to murder. They just can't go through with it until they're older. And some do. What up, Maya?
Actually wanted to
Maya
bail on
Papaya?
their plan to attack and rob his great-grandmother means nothing. The two will still be charged with acting in concert to carry out their crime. The fact that he took the first swing makes this supposed change of heart seem even less believable.
Where did you hit her
It was
with
the,
that first swing?
I think the head.
And you talked about a flat back and then like the sharp part.
Yeah,
Which way did you hit her the first time? Do you
the
know?
flat part.
Was there a reason at all, or that's just the way it ended up in your hand, or what?
I'm quite sure just because it was a flat part and I thought more blunt would work
Damn!
As far as what?
for hitting, just like in general.
Well, hitting in general, as far as
What the fuck?
to put her down quicker, or what do you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. And why did you go there and come up with the plan to do this?
I think it was mainly just for money.
What the fuck? He admits it! Holy shit!
A statement filled with such coldness and detachment, as if he were talking
150.
about a stranger. To be willing to end his great-grandmother's
That's
life
pretty
in pursuit of
petty
money
change.
shows a callousness
But
and
never
lack of
actually do
consciousness
it.
that one wouldn't
I mean,
even expect.
Intrusive thoughts is like memed out. An intrusive thought is not fucking murdering someone. That's so whack. What I've done of a petty change. Like, intrusive thoughts have been memed out. Like, the true definition of intrusive thought isn't like, oh, I'm gonna murder someone, and here comes the knife. Ooh, thank God I put it back. What up, GG? Sociopath for sure. Psychopath.
From a young teenager. Even worse is the fact that he's able to confess to something so horrid without a hint of emotion or remorse.
Yeah, bro, he does not
After
care.
shrugging, Antonio then qualifies his answer with, I think, which is a red flag for possible deception, as the reason he killed his grandma is likely something he does know for sure. Notice how he says it was mainly just for money.
What
which
else?
indicates that there was something else he was motivated by as well. It's not surprising that he gave this answer, though, as blaming it on the money is an easier and more socially acceptable
What? That is not socially acceptable.
answer than saying he just wanted to kill someone.
Is that the
So you
reason?
go there to try to get some money.
How are you doing, Gigi?
You bring the hatchet. He brings the hammer. You hit her the first time, and where was this? Were you in the garage or in the house, or?
We were in the house.
And you said she had let you in, did you say?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Did she know it was you?
Yeah.
So she saw you and opened the door, or what?
Yeah, she opened the door, like the garage door, there's no window, and then she saw me. But she didn't see that I had it, like, hitting me on my back, so...
What? The old, like, oh, what's that behind your back? He was at the door like, oh, hey, grandma, with a fucking axe behind his back. What the fuck, bro? Like, you can't make this shit up. Over cookies, come on. Bro, he's killed over $200. It's a perfect stream for me. Bro, this has been an insane case. We're an hour in already, bro. This kid's insane. He literally, like, killed his mom, his great-grandma, cold-blooded, with a fucking hatchet. Just hatchet her up. Fucking fucked her up, bro. Not just killed, like her face is turned into jello.
And then she told me to go inside. And then, like, I was just, like, putting it under my sweatshirt. And then she said she was going to call my mom. And then, like, Nate looked at me, and he nodded.
Here he's insinuating that his friend Nathan was the ringleader and driving.
Damn, and now he's trying to blame Nathan. Yo,
this
what?
Could be entirely true.
Him and his friend, they're 13 years old.
Or he could be attempting to pass.
And they took the money and went and got pizza with it right afterwards.
The blame off to his friend so that he doesn't look like such a bad guy for having attacked Barbara first.
So you hit her once with the flat end, right?
Yeah.
Did she go right down, or did she fight, or what happened?
She, I think, yelled, like, once.
Imagine if that first hit and they don't die and they don't go down and they just scream and you're just like, you have to fucking hit them again. And again until they don't move anymore. That's some truly evil shit, guys.
And then I hit her one more time. And I think then I ran to the bathroom because I didn't feel good. And then I'm quite sure Nate hit her once or twice with his, like, hammer thing. And that's about all.
This part of Antonio's story might be believable were it not for the fact that an autopsy of Barbara Olson's body concluded that she was hit approximately 27 times in total.
Fuck?
Her wounds indicated both blunt and sharp force trauma. A truly brutal and merciless.
He hit her 27 times with an axe and a hammer.
Attack.
So how long were you back in the bathroom here?
Probably about 30 seconds.
And then what happened?
And I'm quite sure I went to the front, like, over here. And then she wasn't, like, alive, and we didn't...
She wasn't, like, alive? Like, I went to the front and she wasn't, like, alive anymore? Bro, what? Granny just got beat to death, huh?
Didn't know what to do, and we were freaking out, and we were probably there for, like, 2 hours, not knowing what to do.
What do you mean? You just killed her?
Did you ever hit her with the sharp end of the blade?
I think I gave it... I think Nate took it from me and then did once. Like, only one time, though, with the sharp end.
And then Tino started hitting her over and over again. And then he stopped. And he looked at me. And then he said, Nate, help. And I was standing there.
This part of the story presents an interesting contradiction to Antonio's story. Antonio alleged that Nathan initiated the attack by signaling.
Who do you believe, his friend or him?
To him to attack Barbara. Then, according to Antonio, after hitting her twice, he ran to the bathroom because he felt sick.
His dead granny for 2 hours, and then went and got pizza.
Nathan claims that Antonio hit Barbara spontaneously and did most of the attacking. He even has the same sudden change of heart that Antonio had in his story, but claims to have hit her anyway because he feared for his safety. Both of them are telling versions of the story that make the other appear as the ringleader and themselves as the helpless follower.
They're trying to blame each other.
This ultimately
don't
won't
believe
matter
this
since
kid.
they're both confessing to have taken
I mean, they're
part
both in
Barbara's
trouble.
murder.
Like, it's still murder, but either way.
Next, I walked over there. And then he started to hit her again. I was watching. He told me to hit her. I didn't want to. I didn't want to, but I didn't want him hitting me, so I hit her twice, and then I walked away.
Damn!
He kept hitting her. They're
both guilty. The friend sounds more genuine. There's no way Antonio's being for real. That does sound like the more of the way it happened. I don't think maybe he's probably like exaggerating. Oh, I really didn't want to, but it probably was Antonio doing most of it and him just doing 2 hits because Antonio did mention, oh, he just hit her twice and I went to the bathroom and he was hitting her some more while I think I was in the bathroom. Because like it's always like I hit her twice and he hit her twice and that was it. But there was 27 hits, so his version of the story could be true from the facts, and Antonio's can't be true according to the facts. So it's more likely he's telling the truth. Nate.
Channel covered her head with something.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter in a court of law. Like, they both get charged with murder. I guess it matters just to like the morality fact of it, like who initiated it, who's the ringleader. But like at the end of the day, it doesn't change the charge really.
He went a lot.
Who's gonna get less? Oh no, this will be life.
Stuff,
maybe not because they're young. I don't know. We'll see.
I had to go in the pockets to grab the keys for the car, and then he wanted to dump the body in a lake or something.
Damn!
We were selling up to pick her up and put her in the trunk.
And then you sit there for like 2 hours trying to figure out what to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, what are you throwing back and forth, like what you're going to do here?
I think we're going to try to see if there's any way we could like get her into the trunk, but that didn't work.
He's like dragging his dead grandma's body around the house now, trying to shove her corpse into a trunk, but he can't pick her up, so she's falling around, getting her dead, lifeless, gnarled body dragged around. Holy fuck!
Then we started like pulling back towards the main door, but then we couldn't get her up like one of the steps to get in the house.
Okay, so you took her from the living room and got her where then? You took her out
into the garage by the car.
And was that both you and Nathan?
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to move.
Yeah. So we just like started pulling. We were gonna go to the basement, but then we couldn't get up the first stair. So then, of course, we didn't know what to do. So we decided just to like leave it there.
And then just leave it there? Your grandma, leave it there and go. I'm gonna restart my PC, you're good. Bro, what? That's fucking wild, bro. His grandma just fucking left her there like a piece of trash.
And then go.
So is like one of you on the hands and one on the legs, or what?
We were trying to we sat out right there and then we tried lifting up, but like we couldn't even move it a few inches off the ground.
It's your grandma.
So we just stopped
just
trying.
Don't kill your grandma? Yeah, maybe.
Did you go back inside?
Good place to start.
Where are we in this 2 hour span?
I'm quite sure we didn't go back inside. I'm quite sure we ran to the back room.
Why say I'm quite sure?
Grabbed a few of the boxes, all that crap in there, and just threw it in the bag. Then I think we grabbed 3 sodas.
And now he's robbing her, grabbing drinks. This is literally mind fucking. Quite sure means they did.
In part of the basement right here. Mm-hmm. And then I think we just left. And then Nate was driving. It was
I'm driving which car then?
That car.
So that's your great grandma's car, right?
Yeah.
Damn, and he stole his great grandma's car who he just murdered. This kid is demented. Just murdered his great grandma, leaves her there like a piece of garbage, steals her car, steals her shit, and just leaves.
It's haunting to know that 2 13-year-old boys are capable of such a cold-blooded crime. Not only did they murder a relative, but they immediately proceeded to heartlessly rummage through her belongings for things they could
5
take.
stars on
As if they
GTA.
hadn't
God
already
damn.
taken enough.
I don't know what car, what it is, though.
Okay.
Where was this? They say what state? Wisconsin.
You know that it's your great grandma's car though.
Yeah.
Okay. Which back room did you say you went into to grab some boxes?
That. Yeah.
And what do you mean, what kind of boxes?
I'm quite sure it had jewelry, but it all looked as you said, fake and all that. And I remember she had clip-on.
What? He was like, I went to get her jewelry, but it was all fake. That's next to me too. The fuck? What, that state's next to me? Oh my god, bro.
And all that.
Antonio's explanation.
He even called her out for fake. Your dead grandma was like, yeah, her jewelry was fake. Oh my god. My home, Wisconsin, only 7 hours from me.
Red flags. It's heavily littered with selective statements such as I think and I'm quite sure. If he'd only used these phrases once or twice, it might not have been suspicious.
Violation.
However, he uses these a half dozen times. Throughout his recount, he also alternates between referring to the body as it and her. Perhaps this is his attempt to distance himself emotionally from the victim.
That's crazy.
And he wanted me to drive, and then I got in the driver's seat, he got in the passenger's, and we opened the garage door, drove out, and closed it, and came back here.
And where did you drive her car to, Nate?
By a church.
By a church?
Yeah. And then we walked to my house.
Then you came back here?
Yeah. And then he went to the purse and grabbed the money.
Oh my God, he took her purse?
And he threw it in the store. And then we just went to bed that night. And then yesterday,
Yeah.
then we took the car and parked it at some bowling place. And then we went, because he was hungry, so he wanted to buy Theo's pizza. And we ate there. And he said just to leave the car there. So we bought gloves and wipes to wipe the car down. To get our fingerprints off. And we just left the car. And we walked to my house.
Nathan is leaving out a particularly interesting purchase that the boys made with the stolen money. He's likely omitting this information out of fear that divulging it will make him look
Was he
even
trying to buy
worse in
weed?
the eyes of the law and detectives. Soon, we'll find out exactly where the majority of the
Antonio's
proceeds
parents?
from their heist went.
Antonio's
So when you go out,
parents?
You said he drove?
Yeah, he drove.
He was
Where did you
no. He had so Antonio was on the run already. He had a warrant out because he's a runaway.
go from
He
there?
ran away from his parents.
So we took the car, we pushed our park by like some bank that was like 2 blocks away from his house, and we just walked there.
So 2 blocks away from Nate's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we walked back to his house. And I think we were just there for the rest of the night. And then the next day is the day he didn't want to go to school.
So what
Was actually
happens on
fucked. Did you
Tuesday?
be hungry after that? I don't
We
even
went
know.
and we got pizza, but we took the car to a place across from McDonald's. And then parked there.
Jesus.
And then we bought, we walked, bought some pizza, ate, and when we were walking back, we went.
They ate the pizza. They ate all the pizza
and got
too.
gloves and cleaning stuff. And we went to the car, just kind of wiped it down a little bit, then left the car keys in the car and then left it, unlocked and everything.
Where was that?
I think across from McDonald's.
Oddly enough, Antonio omitted the same detail that Nate did concerning how they used the money.
Oh my
Neither of them
God.
want to admit where most of the money went.
Remind me again, if you already said it, what happened to her purse?
We took that and then the actual purse thing, I think we threw it in a sewer.
And who threw that down?
Nate did, he ran outside and threw it.
Damn, he's blaming
Was there
everything on
anything in the
Nate.
purse that you guys took?
There was money, cash, nothing else that we kept.
You just told us a lot of things, okay? So,
Jesus.
and I know you don't want to keep talking about it. I know it's really hard for you to talk about it, but I just have to ask some questions, okay?
At this point in the interrogation,
Jeez.
the detective is going to go back over Nathan's story and ask clarifying questions in order to make sure she has his story correct, and also to note any changes.
I want to
he might
know.
make
I
his
wanted to
version
hear
of
it. I know
events.
they spent it on weed.
When did he tell you or show you that he had
Or if
the
you're doing this shit at like 13. I mean, bro, listen. There are plenty of people who are young and get away with horrendous crimes and go to live on adult lives, and you're around them every single day. You wouldn't know that when they were 13 or 14, they beat someone with an inch of their life, or they essayed someone. You would be surprised the amount of young minors who commit horrendous crimes and then go on to live normal adult lives, and you'll never know about it because they commit as a minor. Most of the time, that gets expunged when they turn 18.
hatchet right when you got home from school?
That's for real.
What did he say?
He said she was somewhat rich and that he was going to get the credit card pin to take all her money out. But he wasn't going to kill her right away. He was going to scare her. And then right as she go grab for that, he was going to hit her in the back of the head.
He said that was what his plan was?
Yes.
Nathan is placing all the planning on Antonio
Damn.
and making himself seem more like a bystander who's just going along with what Antonio
I
said.
believe Nathan's story more, but he definitely was more involved and was more into it than what he's letting on. But I definitely believe Antonio was the leader and pushing most of it and probably doing most of the action.
As co-defendants often do this in the hopes that they'll get less time, since they weren't the mastermind behind the crime.
Did he
Which
have
isn't
anything
true.
else with him?
Hammer.
A hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he also get that from his house?
No.
I like that picture they used.
So he had the
most
hammer
douchey
too?
picture.
No, he made me hold that.
Nathan claims that Antonio made him hold the hammer. but
Okay,
doesn't
now Nathan is really trying to shift the blame.
say exactly how he made him do this. It doesn't seem very plausible or possible that Antonio physically forced Nathan to hold the hammer. He's clearly attempting to downplay his involvement in the
Yeah,
crime.
now he's trying to
So
get
you
out
held
of
the
it.
hammer, and then did you guys take anything else with you?
No.
So then you told your mom that you're going to see a friend.
How did
You're
I
going
get
to see a
blood all
friend
over
out there.
Yeah.
Had you been to his grandma's house before?
Yeah.
You met her before?
I really beat her. He just went there to earn money. But
And then he goes back to kill her.
he was going to steal the money because he was going to do like yard work to get paid.
Uh-huh.
But when he went inside, I guess he took 100.
That was another time?
Yeah, it was months ago.
Months ago?
Damn, and he robbed her before? He robbed $100 from her a month ago. And then the next month he's like, alright, I already robbed you, now I'm gonna kill you. Holy shit, this motherfucker's evil, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to Nathan, Antonio has stolen from his great-grandma Barbara before. This might explain why he was under the impression that she had lots of money, or why she was the first target that came to his mind when he
God
was
damn.
concocting his plans to get some cash.
You said you got to her house and the garage door was open?
Yeah.
Do you guys walk in the garage?
We walked in the garage, tried the bags, didn't like really work out.
What
You think the blood would splatter using a hatchet? I mean, obviously it probably is somewhere. Codferl, fuck my PC. I mean, bro, take your time. I got like some video left to go through. You're good.
What are you doing with the bags?
Putting over our heads
Lies.
Why is that?
just so she couldn't tell who we were.
In Nathan's initial telling of the story, he claims that only Antonio tried to put a bag over his head to conceal his
Nate.
identity. It's not
They use a hammer and a hatchet. Bro, they use one of those camping hatchets that has like the hammer, like the ones from Walmart, the black handle. That has like the kind of like the dull axe side and the hammer backside. And the other one just had a regular hammer.
common for suspects to leave things out or lie about minor details to save as much face as possible, even after they've
Bro, at
already
this point, just
confessed to the
admit it.
major details.
This is fucked.
That didn't work.
For $155, bro. Murder the grandma. Bro, and the thing is, the month before, he robbed his grandma for $100. And then the next month, he literally goes and kills her for $155.
So I gave him my sweatshirt to wear to cover his face.
Did you then hide in the garage or kind of stand off to the side
I said he wanted me to open the door.
to go inside to her house?
Yes, but right as I went to open it, it opened and she was standing right there. And he's like, "Do you want to come inside?"
Damn.
He said, "Yeah." So we went inside.
Bro. Oh my god. Would you kill me for $155? Yes.
And she's like, "Don't steal none of my money."
Damn! She legit invited them in.
This offhand comment from Barbara to Antonio indicates that she's aware that he's stolen money from her before.
And then Tino looked at me, and then looked at her, and then she said she's gonna call his mom. And then right after she said that, he hit her on the head. He like stumbled to the floor, hit her once to the floor, and then hit her 3 more times. She said, "Stop it." Her hands were in the way, so he probably hit her hands and arms.
This account coincides
Damn.
with that battered state of Barbara's arms when her body was found.
Bro, she was on the ground, holding her arms up, and her grandson is just beating her with a hatchet. You at least 20 damn money like a normal person? Yeah, what a couple of fuckers.
She'd spend her final moments pleading with her great-grandson not to kill her, while attempting
Holy
to shield her head
fuck.
and face from the vicious attack.
And then he said, "Nate, help."
Okay.
And then he took off the sweatshirt. And then he he walked over and started to hit her again. And then I slowly walked over,
Oh my god, bro.
panicking.
Was the money for drugs? So they've said they only spent it on cleaning supplies and pizza so far, and the narrator was both like, You'll find out soon what they truly were getting the money for. So we haven't figured it out yet.
I didn't know if I should do it or not.
You got pizza with it? Well, not the main thing.
Start hating me, so
one of the things.
This is a rather large deviation from Antonio's story. According to Antonio, both he and Nathan only struck Barbara a few times with their weapons. Nathan is describing a scene where Antonio is savagely beating his great-grandmother.
He did,
taking
bro.
a second to remove his sweatshirt before continuing to bludgeon her to death.
She got knocked unconscious, and then she started to snore.
Dude, you know, bro, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, some of those insanely gory films on Twitter and shit of people, like, getting shot or knocked out or killed. But, like, when you get hit so hard, you go, and you start to snore. Like, first of all, that can happen before you die. Like, right before you die, you make some weird-ass noises. You know what I'm saying? Damn. That's like, oh my god, bro. That's how you know her brain was done for when they start to snore.
And then Argentina just used the sharp shot and shut, like, hair really hard, and it got stuck in there.
Oh my god, it got stuck?
Her whole top head was, like, gone.
Her whole what was gone?
Up here, so gone.
The whole top of her head?
Oh my god.
Nothing else.
And they got pizza afterwards.
The sheer extent of the overkill seen here is enough to provide evidence of the intent to kill Barbara.
Oh my
The attack
god.
was simply too brutal to be the result of a robbery gone wrong.
I started to panic again, and then I was pacing back and forth because I didn't really want to do it. And then he was doing the same, and he grabbed lights and told me to go wipe down the door handles that we touched.
Their choice to clean up after themselves before leaving the scene of the crime is further
How
proof that
fuck
the
this
two
is.
were
Yeah, and they were like, oh, clean up, we gotta cover this up.
indeed aware and thinking
Them
competently
hungry
throughout
killing
the
her. It
ordeal.
probably was a lot of work.
Especially Antonio, who, according to Nathan's story, is instructing him on how to cover up the crime scene. Nathan's version of the story does a convincing job of painting Antonio as the evil genius.
And
Low
when
key,
you realized you
kinda
couldn't
seems
lift her
like it.
back up into the trunk, you dragged her back towards the door that goes into the house? The two of you?
And they were weak as
Okay.
fuck. They couldn't even drag her back in the house.
When did you put the blanket over her body?
When we realized we couldn't put her in the trunk, so we were, like, gonna wrap her body up and then see if we could, like, have the two ends of the sheet, like, twist it up so we could, like, lift it. But that didn't work, so we just left it right there next to the doorstep.
Damn.
What about her?
Left it. We just left it there. The grandma. We just left it. What the fuck are they saying it for?
Her head and that. Did you guys?
He put plastic bags over it, and then he told me to give him my belt, and then he tied that around her neck.
Bro, he didn't want to look at how fucked her face was. He fucked her face up so bad. He was too, like, disgusted to look at it. He had to cover it with bags. That's how gruesome it was.
Why did he do that?
Like, so if we could have picked her up, so, like, blood didn't spill everywhere.
Where did he get the bags from?
Since she gardens a lot,
Mm-hmm.
she had garbage bags in there to, like, throw weeds in.
I was actually there and saw your great-grandma, okay? And there was something on her head. Do you remember what that would have been?
A bag.
Okay, what color?
Black.
And how did that get there?
From in the garage.
Look at him, bro. He's just fidgeting with his handcuffs while admitting to a gruesome murder.
And why was it put on there?
Because I didn't like seeing it.
Didn't like seeing her face or what?
Yeah.
Or I don't want to put words in your mouth, so what didn't you like seeing?
Everything that happened.
It's not uncommon for killers to cover their victim's
Jeez.
face if it's a family member, friend, or partner. Seeing the face of their deceased loved one might trigger certain emotions
Yeah,
that
bro.
the killer would
I can
likely
only
rather
fucking
avoid.
imagine. Imagine killing, like, someone you love and then seeing their dead face afterwards. That'd be terrifying to me.
The fact that Antonio felt the need to do this indicates that he felt some type of negative emotion when he saw what he did to her, possibly due to lingering traces of an emotional attachment or even hints of remorse.
Bro is so depraved. Bro, it's insane, actually.
So that's why, did you put the bag on her head?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And what kept that bag on her head?
Nate's belt.
So did he put that on, or did you?
Pretty sure he gave it to me and then I did it.
I'm quite sure.
What happened with the hammer?
I think we put it in the trunk.
And what about the hatchet?
the trunk.
Okay. And
Jesus.
the jewelry?
The backseat.
And the purple bag?
Backseat.
And,
Bro, Nathan's just fucking squealing his little guts up. He's a rat. He's 6'9".
in the trunk?
Yeah.
Spilling
That's
everything.
when we first put over her head.
You first put the coat over her head?
Yeah.
Okay. Where were the keys for her car at?
Pocket.
Okay. And you said that you got the keys out of her pants pocket?
Yeah.
What was in the purple bag?
She had like shoes and a camera case with a camera in it.
He even knows all her shit. He went through all her, bro. He went through a dead woman's possessions, and I was like naming off all the shit he took from her.
Wallet and then her purse. And then we put like cleaning the wipes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all we put in that bag. Then he wanted to sell the jewelry so he could have money.
And bro, Nathan has his mom right next to him when he's saying all this.
Because he was just gonna run away.
And how much money was there in there, cash?
About, I think, $150.
And where is that?
Some of it went towards food, and then we got pizza, and then some of it went towards weed.
I knew
I think
it.
it's actually still at his house upstairs, if he didn't get it yet. And then I think that's it.
They spent it on weed. He's obviously gonna squeal. I know what you meant, Alex. Don't worry about it.
So all that money's gone?
Yeah.
They spent
So you
the
just
rest
took
of
the
it on
cash out of
weed.
there?
Yeah.
What did you keep from the purse?
Bud.
Just the cash?
Yeah. And we took the money, bought weed.
How much weed did you buy?
145.
What the fuck? Great grandma for weed. Oh my god.
Where?
Who did you buy that from?
I don't know who he bought it from.
Tino bought the weed?
Yeah.
Were you with him when he bought it?
No.
Where did you guys buy it at? Or where did he buy it at?
And he bought it from some kids that he knew who were in high school.
Who actually bought the weed?
And like both of us were both there.
Oh, did you both
For years,
actually
raised
have
several
the
generations, was killed for weed. That's a zip. Goddamn.
money and give it to whoever you
Sickening.
bought the weed from?
I think I had
That,
the
bro,
money.
imagine paying $145 for a zip. Couldn't be me. You guys stay safe though. I ain't ever paid $145 for a zip. These kids are 13, Ben. Weed is definitely not good for young ones.
Me. Like I kept
You're gonna have to watch
Have you
something
bought it
happy
from
after
whoever
this.
that person is before or not?
Yeah, I have.
Antonio and Nathan managed to steal a mere $155 from Grandma Barbara's house. They proceeded to spend all but $10 of that money on weed and the rest of it on pizza.
Oh my
Both
god,
momentary
pizza and
fleeting
weed.
dis-
Bro, they murdered her. They murdered her for pizza and fucking weed. At 13, Jesus Christ. Like, bro, this is real. They savagely murdered his great grandma for pizza and marijuana.
desires. They enjoyed getting high and having a meal at the cost of a human life.
That's crazy.
Their young age is certainly a reason for their poor decision-making, but their actions go far beyond the self-centeredness of typical teenagers. Their actions and mindset are very much reflective of children with severe conduct disorder.
Holy
And
fuck.
then we woke up the next morning.
Tuesday morning?
Yeah.
Yesterday morning?
Yeah. And then that's when I decided not to go to school.
Oh, that makes
And
sense.
what about the stuff in the trunk?
We just left it there. And the keys are sitting on the seat. Because Tino thought that if some dude walks by and sees the keys just sitting there, that he would take the car. And if they find the car, they would have thought he did it.
Damn, that's actually
Half-baked
pretty
plan.
smart. Yeah, pizza for $5. Well, they had $10 left over, but yeah, just about.
And is full
Right?
of
I don't know.
sizable holes. It goes to show their immaturity and unsophisticated thinking, which is to be expected from offenders of their age.
God
And you woke
damn.
up today and went to school?
Yeah, and Tino wasn't at school.
Okay.
It's interesting that Nathan resolved to go to school the next day.
That's
After the events
crazy.
of Monday afternoon, he was probably eager to resume his normal life.
Holy fuck.
Realistically, Nathan said goodbye to his childhood as soon as he
Bro, in his last day free, he went to school. Bro, LU should have taken a day off. You're going to jail for the rest of your life. He had 1 day of freedom between he had 1 day of freedom between the murder, the day with Tonio, and he had 1 day of freedom where he was just by himself, and then he got picked up the next day. And he went to school? Bro.
Participated in the murder, and he likely felt this.
Do you have any questions for us right now or not?
Mainly just how much time I'm looking at.
After ending his own great-grandmother.
What the fuck? That's his final words. How much time am I looking at?
Life, scarring his whole family, including his mother, and implicating his closest friend. Antonio is still only concerned about the consequences that will affect him. His fidgeting hands indicate that the amount of time he'll spend in prison is a source of great anxiety for him.
How do they pay for the cleaning
I don't
supplies?
make that
I don't
decision.
know.
Obviously, there's a district attorney.
True,
that
Maya.
is going to file charges, and it's up to the judge or jury as far as that. But
And then am I still have my hearing today or no?
I'm not sure. I can tell you that you're not going to get out if you do have the hearing,
Okay.
because you are going to end up getting charged. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
And do you realize what you're getting charged with?
Murder.
Right. So first-degree intentional homicide of your great-grandma, Barbara Olson. You do understand the severity of that, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any
Damn.
questions for us
What
right
the
now?
fuck? I'm speechless.
Okay.
It's surprising that the mother wouldn't have any questions after learning that her son
Wait, after that story, the mom sat here, he confessed to everything. The mom didn't know about it. Do you have any questions? The mom's like, no. What the fuck is wrong with these parents?
just helped kill his friend's great-grandmother in such a vicious manner, and that he used her to carry out their heinous plans.
Nate, do you have any questions for us right now?
No.
Okay.
How the
We're
fuck?
going to be collecting the clothing that Nate pointed out that he was wearing on Monday, and his shoes, and Tino's clothing that he pointed out in his bedroom, okay? Okay. We'll have to take Nate into custody right now and from the house. Do you understand
Killed
that,
us,
Nate?
they found out.
Do you understand that,
Bro,
Bobby?
shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, you realize what you're going to be charged with.
Jesse.
I told you, right?
He's putting his own handcuffs back
One
on.
other thing, I actually heard that you were really a good kid and into sports and all kinds of stuff, and then something happened,
I was hit by a car.
right?
What?
So then, is that what happened? That you go from being into sports and a good kid to what we just talked about? Or what else is in the middle of there?
Not being able to do anything.
What do you mean?
Like, everything I wanted to ever do had to do with some sort of combat or, like, stuff I wasn't allowed to do because of my head. Like, I wanted to be in boxing and MMA and football.
And because of what happened to your head, you couldn't do any of that?
No.
What happened?
I was hit by a car in the 5th grade.
And what happened as far as why you would not be able to do any of that stuff then?
I got a concussion, which they say I still have, but I say I don't.
An interview with his grandma Judy, the victim's
What?
daughter, confirmed that Antonio had indeed been hit by a car while
What?
riding a bike when he was 10 years old. It's true that this accident might have caused traumatic brain damage. that
Holy
resulted
fuck.
in a drastic
His dad
change
got
of
brain
personality.
damage?
Studies have shown that brain injuries that occur during developmental years
Holy
can cause
fuck.
long-lasting neurocognitive changes, such as memory
This is
loss,
crazy.
personality changes, intense aggression, and lack of inhibition.
Oh my
On the other
god.
hand, as a teenage boy who was never able to do any of the things he wanted to do, he might have felt as though his life was already over, and that his actions didn't matter.
But they say it'll just get worse if I join anything.
Is
Damn.
there anything else? I'll give you one last chance. Anything else you want to make sure that I include in this report?
Not really.
Antonio is escorted out of the interrogation room. Immediately following his interview, Nathan is arrested and also taken into police custody.
Holy fuck.
The note that Nathan had written, the note that would send chills down the spines of seasoned detectives, read, "He killed his grandma, and I was with him."
Holy shit.
Antonio
Look how
initially-
young these kids look from this angle now. Like, look at them.
pleaded not guilty to the murder on the grounds that he was mentally ill. A psychiatrist who'd assessed Antonio testified at his trial that Antonio does indeed suffer from cognitive issues caused by him being hit by a car.
Oh my God! That's so messed up,
However,
man.
it seemed that this crime was simply too heinous to be overlooked. Even the judge would say that this was the worst case he'd seen in his 24 years as a judicial officer. On June 24, 2013, he changed his plea to no contest as part of a plea deal. On August 12th, Antonio Barbeau was found guilty of the first-degree intentional homicide of his great-grandmother,
How long is he gonna
Barbara
get?
Olson, and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in
Okay, he got life.
36 years. In the meantime, Nathan's trial was still ongoing. In fact, Antonio would testify at his dear friend's trial. He would take the stand and tell the court that Nathan was not the clueless follower the defense tried to paint him to be.
Damn, he snitched on his friend too? What the fuck, bro? He's a snitch.
He claimed that Nathan was just as involved in the planning of the murder and just as invested in carrying out the murder as he was.
All for weed and pizza.
Nathan's relatives argued that Nathan had the social development of a child and could easily be influenced into doing something that horrific by someone.
Dude, I do know some people in my life right now that are like that weak and that much of a sheep.
One like Antonio. At the end of the day, the gruesome and severe nature of Barbara's injuries, demonstrated by crime scene photos presented in the courtroom, attested to the fact that there was very likely more than one active killer.
Damn, so Nate was guilty.
Convincing the jury needed. On August 13th, 2013, the day after Antonio was sentenced, Nathan Pop was also found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
He gets parole in 31 years. He gets 5 years less.
In 31 years.
Damn.
In 2016, Antonio attempted to appeal his sentence. Nathan attempted the same the following year. Both appeals were swiftly denied and the original sentences were upheld. Antonio was sent to the Waupun Correctional Institution and will be eligible for parole in 2048.
Holy fuck.
50 years old.
Damn!
Nathan was taken to the Columbia Correctional Facility and will be eligible for parole in 2043 when he is 45 years old.
It would be so interesting to see, like, it's kind of hard to really, like, get interested and look into it because, like, most people who spend that long in prison did something kind of heinous, so they're not going to be an interesting person. But just imagine a person who, like, spent the time of, like, they were 13 to the time they were 50 in prison, and they just get out into the world. Like you would, like, not want to look through their eyes because they're probably a shitty person, but that'd be crazy to think about. Much deserved. Good. Holy shit, that was wild, bro. That'd be insane. Shit was absolutely crazy. Chat. This is an ironic song to play right now. If I die young, well, Granny didn't die young, so that's crazy. I've been in, yeah, I won't get into that only because Ben's waiting for me to rate him.